Pak duduk yang telah disediakan karena acara akan segera kita mulai. Kami mengajak Bapak dan Ibu untuk mendownload Attendify di Google Play Store atau App Store, lalu create profile Anda, cari Innovation Summit Jakarta 2018 untuk mengetahui agenda acara Innovation Summit 2018 kali ini. Ladies and gentlemen, and now please welcome Country President Schneider Electric Indonesia, Mr. Xavier Denoli.
Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu, selamat datang di di Innovation Summit Jakarta 2018. Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much. That's it for my bahasa. Wow, such an energy. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for being here. It's a great excitement for us here in Indonesia to have you all, our dear customers, partners, representatives from the government to be with us today. And I have to say, I am personally extremely excited to be here because I really think this is one of those days that you might remember in your career. At least for me, I will. I've been in this business several decades already. And frankly, in our electrical world, I have seen a lot of changes, but incremental changes. This time, and I'm absolutely convinced of it, we are in for a mega change in our industry, and you should not be worried about it. It's a positive change. The messages that you will come across with, of course, is digital. It's power, electrical power, and digital. I will leave you with one, I think, disrupting idea. Digital is present. It's today. All of you in your pockets, you have your mobiles. All of you in your personal lives, you live digital. So the disrupting idea this morning is digital is the present, electric power is the future. These are the two pieces of the same coin. There is no digital without power, and digital allows the efficiency, and more penetration of electrical power. So there are tremendous changes coming our way, and that's why we do these innovation summits, is to share with you, dear customers and partners, what we do at Schneider Electric to accompany, to accelerate this transformation. This is a big deal. This Innovation Summit Jakarta is the 5th one that we do this year in 2018 at Schneider Electric. First one was in Sydney about 2 months ago, then Delhi, India, then Mexico, Paris, and now today Jakarta. Next stop will be in Surabaya on May 2nd and 3rd. So my recommendation, if you enjoy this one, you can come on the second week, if you want, on May 2nd and 3rd in Surabaya, or better, invite your colleagues, your partners to join us if you really want to go deeper, because we will be there again in about 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your time with us. We have brought here in this location our best experts from Schneider Electric. They are here for you. Take the time to interact, ask as many questions as possible, but come out of here with a positive message and come out of here with a solution to the bigger questions you may have. With that, on with the show.
From the moment you're up, so are we. You don't have to look too hard. Our technology is everywhere. Because energy is a basic human right, a right we bring to places that previously had no energy. And for people on the move, we move raw data so that it becomes information for smoother running, more efficient cities. Every day, our world asks for more reliable power. But our resources are limited. That's why we make better use of what's around us, giving clean, sustainable energies a solid chance in the future. So while we help industry and productivity, we never forget what's at the end of the day. Not everyone knows us, and fewer may see us, but we are the global specialists in energy management and automation. We are Schneider Electric. And in everything we do, we make sure that even while you're asleep, life is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Executive Vice President International Operation Schneider Electric, Mr. Luc Gromand.
Good morning to all of you. I'm really excited to be with you this morning. As Xavier said, this is our 5th Innovation Summit globally this year, and it was really important for me to come to Jakarta today to share this moment with you, our partners, our customers. We have a long journey together already with most of you. For those who are discovering Schneider Electric, you are most welcome as well to share this moment with us and to share what makes our life, which is our passion. We are passionate people. We are passionate by our technologies, by our know-hows, and by people. That's really what makes our day every day. And that's why we wanted to share these days with you on these 2 days, to share with you what we believe will be our common future. And our common future, as Xavier said, is made of big news from technology and from new know-hows that will change our life in power and in digital, which are basically the two key missions of Schneider Electric. We are powering and digitizing the economy. We believe that this is our mission as a technology company. And I also believe that this mission will be more and more important. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic. Should be okay. This mission will be more and more important with what we call the emerging economies. And Indonesia is one of the biggest emerging economies. My job at Schneider Electric is to develop our business in the emerging economies. And Indonesia, in this regard, is one of the key countries where we believe that the future will be built in powering and digitizing the economy. So what are the key transformations that are starting to occur globally from this transformation standpoint? We have a global challenge that we are all facing. A global step up in efficiency. We have 20 years to face a plus 1.5 times need of energy consumption because we have growing population, we have more and more needs for people to access to energy, and we need to give space for this. We have to reduce by 2 times the carbon emissions. Otherwise, we will not face the global warming challenge. So we have just to multiply by 3 times our efficiency. Is it possible? We believe this is possible because technology and our common efforts can enable that. Now, Xavier said the present living. And we are living, all of us, this in our personal day. We are more and more living this in all of our professional lives, thanks to artificial intelligence, thanks to augmented reality, thanks to the Internet of Things. That is not just a concept anymore. Anyone who can guess when the Internet of Things journey started for Schneider Electric? It started more than 20 years ago. The first connected product that we built on the Internet, which was considered at that time as a revolution. A revolution definition most of the time is that everyone considers that you are crazy. So we were considered as crazy at that time when we connected the first PLC, so the first automation product, to the Internet. That was 20 years ago. At that time, everyone in our competitors in the landscape said, Schneider is going crazy. So that's already a long time ago. Now the Internet of Things can be everywhere in our professional and personal life. So this is the present. Now, of course, the present is reaching now everywhere, which means that this is transforming extremely fast our environment. And just to give you a few examples that are here on this chart, 5 billion people today have a mobile phone. 2.8 have a smartphone. In this country, 130 million people have a smartphone. That makes a very big difference on how everyone accesses to information and how everyone can use information. If most of you have children in their teenagers, like I have, you know how many hours they spend on the internet. So this will be their life tomorrow. You can measure that if there is no Wi-Fi for them, most of the time, if you have teenagers, this is more critical than any other needs most of the time. So the future, specifically in countries with a young population like Indonesia, will be built by this generation who is fully connected.
Of course, this leads to a very big amount of data that will be generated by personal and professional users, and to a very huge business potential that will be triggered by access to information for many types of infrastructure. And this is where Schneider Electric brings solutions. So that's today. Now, the future will be electric, which is the other big revolution that we are in. And there are things that are part of the electrical world today that, quite frankly, were not part of the electrical world only 5 years ago. So I would like to share with you the vision that we are living an electrical revolution today. And this is what will bring to all of our countries probably big opportunities to accelerate development and to change also the balance of power generation that does exist in most countries. We gave here 3 examples of big changes that we are seeing in the electrical landscape. The first one is that all these data that are being generated, that the common language says that they are in the cloud. Well, I can tell you that the cloud has feet on the ground. It's called data centers. And this cloud needs to accommodate more and more and more volume of data. Most of the countries, even in mature countries, mature economies that are not growing as fast as emerging markets, the volume of data in these mature economies as in emerging markets still grows at a pace of 2 times a year, which means that we need to find solutions to create the energy that enabled this data to be treated, hosted in a safe, reliable environment. And that's one of the biggest challenges of the energy for 2030. The second one is that the price of generation of solar energy is going down extremely fast, at a pace that is closer to what we see in the microelectronics industry than what we see in any other kind of industry. Which means that it's possible that by 2030, we could see solar at a comparable price to fossil energy generation, which would change completely the landscape of mix of generation of most of the countries. The third one is that the technologies of the electrical vehicle are growing very fast, and they are maturing very fast. So we could see in many countries up to 50% of the vehicles going from conventional to electrical. So these 3 examples give you just the magnitude of the potential change in the electrical world, making much more users and new type of users of electricity in the future. Now, of course, this revolution in electricity has some consequences on the way we should handle electricity, and we should organize electricity at every level, from the users to the producers. The trend that we are observing is that the declining cost of renewables and storage, plus the fact that most of the future investments in electricity generation will be in renewables, changes fundamentally the landscapes and creates opportunity in solar generation, energy storage, microgrids, and grid automation or smart grid. So the future of organizing the connection between the users of electricity and the people who generate electricity will be much more interrelated, and the interrelation of this is called automation, which is really what will pave the landscape of electricity in the future. And that's now. Now, if I take the usage of electricity from the user side, there are big changes as well. The user will be able, whether this is an industrial user, a data center user, a public user like high schools or large buildings, for example, in all these cases, being able to monitor and control the usage of energy will enable, at the same time, through digitization, as they will get the capacity to have their generation on demand with some solar capacities, for example, this will enable a much smarter usage of energy at the user's level. And this is fundamentally enabled by digitization and connection. So you measure, you connect, and then you control your usage of energy. This digitization is the convergence of what is present already in the operational technology. So that's any product that would deliver motion or electricity. So these are products that most of you know well. They are, by the way, the ones for which Schneider Electric is well known. But the future is made of the convergence of these products and information technologies that are taking the data that is collected from all the products, putting analytics on these data, and using these analytics to drive the processes that make the infrastructure more efficient. So this efficiency of the process and of the energy is deducted from the knowledge that you have in the products and from the analytics that we put on top of it. That's what we call the convergence between IT and OT. So this is not the future, this is today, and there is a word that you will hear a lot around these 2 days, which is EcoStructure. EcoStructure is our ecosystem of technology that connects all these layers of technologies that I will describe here, which are a layer of connected products, a layer of automation that is close to the machine, what we call edge controlling, and a layer of software and analytics that brings to the end user the relevant information for the optimization of their infrastructure. So this architecture that we call EcoStructure is the technology architecture of Schneider Electric. So you are going to be eco-structurized over these 2 days, because this is really this architecture, which is an open architecture, where our end users can find the analytics and all the infrastructure that is needed for them to optimize their own infrastructure, and all of our partners can find an open architecture where they can pick the elements that are necessary for them to build their own value-added proposition for their works. So that's really what we propose to you as a common ecosystem, which leads, as you can see here, to be able to optimize drastically most of the infrastructures that we are working on together. So today, with this architecture, we address infrastructure that are covering 70% of the world's energy users. That's buildings, that's data centers, and that's, of course, any kind of industry or infrastructure. All these elements are covering 70% of the existing consumption of energy, not just power, in the world. What we know is that there is a massive untapped efficiency in these infrastructures. And that's just not rocket science. That's proven experience deployed of EcoStructure in existing infrastructure that helps us to measure what is the untapped efficiency that we can address thanks to the technologies that we can deploy in these infrastructure. To give you just few examples, we consider that the untapped energy efficiency in building and data centers is 82%, which means that usually we tend to say that when you start to optimize seriously a building with automation and analytics, when you start to optimize seriously a plant with automation and analytics, the range of efficiency that you can reach is most of the time in the 40s to the 50%. And that's really what you can achieve. And for the users, the return of investment of this effort, most of the time, accounts in 1, 2, 3 years, depending on the infrastructure. So that's really something that represents a very high benefit for the users, and that changes their life, because once you digitize your infrastructure, you make any further evolution of your infrastructure much more nimble. And that's really the big change that is brought by this digitization transformation. So with this, I could continue in much more details, but Xavier will do it with details that are much more fitting for Indonesia, and I think this is much more important that we have a perspective that is fully adapted to the Indonesian market and what we can do in Indonesia. Now, my conclusion is to say that, we tend to say that our ambition at Schneider is to bring technologies that ensure that life is on, which means that the light is on, the process is on, everyone is on, at every moment, everywhere, and for everyone. That's our ambition. And we tend to observe that when this is the case, our partners, our customers, end users, do more business for themselves. And this is really our ambition, to bring this opportunity for our customers. So with this, Life is On is energized, efficient, and connected. So my only question to you is whether, with all this, you are ready for the journey with us. And I hope you are. We want to share our enthusiasm with you along these 2 days. I was saying that the journey has been already a long journey with most of you. Reason why we are all here very proud to be with you today. 45 years already for Schneider in Indonesia. 4,500 people in the country. So that's something. I mean, that's a commitment of the company to Indonesia. I believe that in a country like Indonesia, with a huge potential, a big population, big know-hows, we should ambition to do much more together in the next 5 to 6 years. That's what the Schneider team here is betting on. That's what I'm encouraging them to bet on as well. And we believe that we will do that by bringing more know-how and technology to Indonesia, by continuing to invest in Indonesia to deploy these technologies. And we see plenty of opportunities to do so, because we know that this market is a growing market, that the needs of the market are very big. I thank very much the representatives of the authorities who accepted to share this day with us. It's important for us as well to act as Indonesians in Indonesia. So we want to continue to be an Indonesian company here. That's our mission. And our mission is to contribute to the development of the country through our activities here. We believe that the technologies that we bring have a capacity to bring an acceleration of the development of the country. And we would be extremely proud if we built out of this ambition a successful journey for us all. Thank you very much for your attention. Terima kasih. And Xavier will give you more in-depth vision of what we should be doing together to eco-structurize Indonesia. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Hello again. So in front of you, you have the most Indonesian of all the Schneider Electric country presidents. I'm very proud of it. I will try to give you a perspective on the story of our country here. What is the dynamic on which we're on? And all of this fits extremely well, I believe, with the situation and our situation at Schneider and how Schneider can help accelerate the move. Indonesia is a large country. In the year 2000, it was the 27th largest country in terms of GDP around the world. Right now, it is the 16th largest country in terms of GDP, with the 4th largest population of the world. The bold ambition of the country is to be among the 10 largest economies by 2030. And really, when you think about it, who remembers today 2006? Does 2006 seem like very, very far away? It was 12 years ago. If you take 2018 plus 12, we are in 2030. Means it's happening now. It's not a futuristic view, it's really what is happening to our economy. We believe it is possible to achieve this ambition. Some people might call this a dream. And there are already in place in the country many very significant plans to go into that direction that most of you are aware of. The most publicized one is the necessity to equip Indonesia with enough power to be able to sustain the demand. This is the 35 gigawatt power generation project that has been highly publicized, and it comes from the calculation linked to the elevation of the standard of living in the country, the growing population. Indonesia needs an extra 7 gigawatt per year, every year. So the 35 gigawatt plan, which is seen as something humongous, frankly, only holds the wave for 5 years, right? So it's amazing in terms of transformation. The goal is to give sustainable power for all. If you look at the population in Indonesia, close to 260 million people, roughly 30 million people do not have reliable access to electricity or no electricity at all. So to sustain the demand, to give access to everyone, is really an enormous task, and the country is already poised to go into that direction big time. Second thing is the country needs infrastructure. There is no future without solid infrastructure to be able to develop the business and the economy. Infrastructure means a solid internet availability, high-speed networks, data centers, roads, airports, seaports, you name it. That's called infrastructure. And this is going to be some investment for the country to reach that ambition again, which is absolutely amazing. And very few countries, I don't know if you realize, but very few countries in the world have in front of them in a very short term such a tsunami in terms of necessary investment just to contain the evolution and the need for growth that people are showing up. The newer one, which was actually publicized on April 4th, so exactly 2 weeks ago, by President Jokowi, is called Industry 4.0, or Indonesia 4.0, sorry. This aims at doing a number of things. The generating factor is, in the coming few years, there will be an additional 30 million, 30, people in working age. These people will be on the job market here, new people, right, that are not yet in the job market. So it's the golden age in terms of demography for the country. At the same time, the country, the balance of export versus import for Indonesia is not favorable. So the country has decided to invest heavily to give job and a future to these people, as well as investing big time in industry. And a few selected segments have been chosen, and all these segments will be powered by electricity, of course, and using the digital transformation. So it's an exciting ride, very big, very ambitious, and all of us here in this room, we are part of this. Indonesia 4.0, it's 10 national priorities. Of course, it's not my job here to go through every single one of them, but when I looked in details of what are the 10 national priorities, I can tell you that right now, Schneider Electric is already contributing to most of them. Most of them. For example, the first one, reform material flow, means stop import of some important raw materials or transformation level 1 and produce here. That's chemicals. That's food and beverage. So it's industrial transformation, and Schneider is very well positioned to support the setting up of efficient factories for the best efficiency and the best output for the money that is invested. Industrial zones, sustainability. Who can think here today that sustainability is not a concern? It's our concern, especially for us in Asia and very specifically in Indonesia. There is a big concern around this. Empower SMEs with technology. Build nationwide power and digital infrastructure already mentioned. Tremendous investments, tremendous competence needed with more foreign investment. And the big question is, what about the human capital? It means here, what about the competence available in the country? I have been in Asia in a cumulative manner for 15 years. The biggest challenge that all of us have in Asia and also in Indonesia is the competence level of existing competence on the ground. So this is, for me, the biggest challenge that we face is how do we upgrade this human capital. Schneider has embarked now on a very ambitious vocational training program with SMKs to train 10,000 electrical engineers in the coming 5 years. This is our contribution to the local plan, as you see here. Innovation, technology, we've already spoken a lot about it. Indonesia is behind today in terms of investment in R&D center. So there is a lot of catch-up to do, but the good news is that it's possible. And finally, the regulation and policies to support and accelerate this. So making Indonesia 4.0 is a lot about technology. All of you have heard about this. Internet of Things will go back into detail. Artificial intelligence, human-machine interface, and also sensors and robotics. All of this going. The only objective is not technology for the sake of technology. It's technology in order to be able to deliver the value in a more efficient manner. You have to wonder now, if you think about the future, most of you work in the electrical industry here in this room. Most of you are working today on projects, for example, for building projects, for data center projects. What you and your teams are doing right now is to invest for the future. The lifetime of a building will be anything between 20 to 40 years, right? So what you design today will be in place in, let's say, 2 years, 3 years. Would you really think that you are not going to invest a lot in terms of connectivity and technology? Nobody's thinking that way anymore. No country is thinking that way. So it's super important. This connectivity is the theme of the day. And as we mentioned already 2 times, it is not Star Trek. It's now. It's happening now. The question that everybody's asking all the time is connectivity, digital. Is this something fashionable? Is it the buzz? Why do we want to do all that? I don't care. It has been working like this for me for ages. The problem is what we do with the data. To generate data is very simple. Most of the devices you have today already in your installations, in your factories, generate data. And if those do not generate data, there are simple ways to start that generation. I have one in my hand here. Your good old electrical system that has been installed in a cabinet, let's say, for the past 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. We call this now, seen from 2018, a dummy product. Because this dummy product is performing the main function for which it has been designed, but is not connectable. Using such devices, very simple, called power tag, we can transform a dummy product into a connected product. It's just as simple as this. And all the new offer generations that you will see from now on from Schneider Electric, 100% of those have connectivity capability. We would never think of doing otherwise. So the problem is, what do we do with data? And I think it's a very good phrase here. I will do my Japanese version of it. Data deluge. What does that mean? It means it's a tsunami. It's a tsunami of data which is hitting us. Enormous wave of data. But the problem is what to do with it, right? The idea is not to store this data into humongous databases and then business done. The big deal, the main idea of this whole transformation is to transform this data tsunami into meaningful insights. Said differently, maybe in simpler English, use the technology to make better decisions. That's the deal. The technology is just supporting this. So, we will close the loop with all this technology. We will connect all the existing installations, all of them. New ones, old ones, Schneider, non-Schneider, everything. We will collect, gather this data, create that wave, create that tsunami. The new part, which is, in my view, the most exciting part. Thanks to technology, we can now, through artificial intelligence, through machine learning, we can analyze this data and propose some scenario, propose some options for decision making. This was not possible before. This is now software, thanks to cloud, all these technologies. And finally, take action. You are a leader in your company, you want to have decision making. You will want to pilot your data center, your building, your whatever. You need to have the data. You need to have it in a meaningful way. So that's the deal. At Schneider Electric, our ecosystem, using the latest technologies to be able to articulate all this that can seem like a complex picture, it's an ecosystem that we name EcoStruxure. It's a bit of a barbarian word, but you can practice it. The hardest is the first 5 years, and then you can say it properly. So EcoStruxure is a combination of things. Yes, there is a technical part to it. We call this the platform. But that's not the end game. We also need to be able to utilize this technology in a relevant manner depending on the area you're working at. You will understand that using technology for meaningful decision is not the same pain points or questions that you have if you work in a hospital environment or if you work on an oil and gas platform. It's not at all the same types of problems. So there is a big need for expertise accumulated over a number of years in order to be able to choose the right association, the right platforms to solve the main issues that come up. This is a people business. Sometimes we are blinded by technology, but technology by itself is nothing. And this is a community as well. And at Schneider, we are very proud to say that we are the company which uses the most partners to go to market. So all of you here somehow are in what we call the business model is the go-to market. Some of you are distributors, some of you are system integrators, panel builders, contractors, end users, consultants, you name it. All of you play a part in that ecosystem to get to the market. And EcoStruxure is also designed to be able to provide answers, use the community expertise, and accelerate the impact. And finally, when you and your teams design new installations, etc., there are many phases in it. It goes from birth to death. So from cradle to grave. You design a new system, one day it will disappear. So what EcoStruxure is all about as well, thanks to digital powerful tools, is to be able to accelerate the efficiency from design to maintenance. The platform. That's the thing that you will see. During the coming 2 days, you will see, and you probably have seen this before. 1 year ago, I was on the same stage, in the same hotel, showing this. But since then, it has progressed. I'm very, very impressed with the increase in terms of maturity that all of us are moving into. Frankly, 1 year ago, it looked like something of the future. I'm so pleased to see that everybody's getting on board to this at a very, very quick speed. So this platform that we have here is serving, no change on that, the markets that Schneider is serving. Be it the buildings, the data center market, the industry market, and the infrastructure. this is still the same good old Schneider business. And all of you are in these markets right now. The novelty and the most excited piece is you see a stack, 3 layers, 3 stacks of technology. The newer one, which is providing the greatest value to the end user at the end of the game, is the one on top that is called apps, applications, analytics, and services. Sorry. This one embarks a lot of software and basically is the one where the decision making can happen, right? So we will go into many details on that, but this is the world of predictive maintenance. This is the world of simulation. We can simulate a complete factory, a complete process, a complete data center through software and be able to anticipate what the issues will be. And that's bringing a lot of values, of course, for all the good old reliability, safety, efficiency, and you name it, types of approach. Below the apps, analytics, and services, there is a level which is called edge control. Edge control is edge control is a complicated word just to say something very simple. It's local control. Some people will call that on-premise, local control, edge control. It all ends up to the same thing. In this hotel here, somebody is piloting all the sensors for the HVAC of this hotel, the lifts, etc. This is done locally. This is done locally for many reasons. Latency. Nobody can rely on a cloud and risk a rupture in communication to be able to influence the parameters of the temperature in this room. It has to be done locally. It's also for safety. In case of a problem, you need swift reaction in order to be able to correct the problem. And it's also the place where you control really the functioning of the system. So edge control is software-based mostly, locally based, by opposition to the apps, analytics, and services, which for most of it are cloud-based. And all this relies on the foundation of what we call connected products, all these products that are capable of sharing all the parameters of their functioning, the temperature, the speed, the electrical power going through, etc. All these connected products perform the basic function that they have been designed for and also generate the data to be analyzed by the upper layers. The flip side of connectivity, and everybody's aware of this, is cybersecurity. It's a risk, and it will always be a risk. The only way for Schneider Electric to address this risk is through partners or partnering with the top IT companies of the world. And you will see later in the presentation, all the big IT names are associated with us to the development of the EcoStruxure platform. And I read no later than yesterday that one of our biggest partners in the development is Microsoft. And Microsoft released yesterday a completely new ecosystem based on Azure, called Azure Sphere, designed for IoT systems. We will continue to work with partners of that caliber in order to ensure maximum protection to our customers due to the usage of technologies like that. And finally, all these systems are based either on the cloud or on-premise, I've mentioned before. I also mentioned that it's not the same situation whether you want to, for example, control a grid, utilities, or if you want to control a machine. For that reason, we have designed 6 domains of EcoStruxure. We call these domains of expertise, and these are building, power, IT, machine, plant, and grid. Each of them has got its own specificity to be able to be the best architecture to provide the value in one given environment, like those 6 which are mentioned here. What digitization is bringing is new values. You will always see Schneider on top of the wave in terms of connectivity, sustainability, efficiency, reliability, and safety. We will continue to maintain those key values, but we will bring, thanks to digitization, some new values. For example, for augmented reality. You will see in the room next door, in the industry booth, pretty amazing demonstrations about augmented reality in the industry world. To be able to, without touching the equipment, without risking anybody's life, using a tablet, you'll be able to access, without opening the cabinet, access in a wireless manner the content of the cabinet, have a complete detailed list of all the equipment inside, complete access to all the parameters of the products, and if you need to service and do some maintenance, you can access online, in real time, all the maintenance catalogs, all the maintenance, the firmware and the hardware for update. It's really absolutely amazing. This is a new value. This is what we mean by augmented value. And there's a lot of those. I'm not going to go all through this, otherwise we will sleep here tonight, all of us. Okay? So that's the platform. You will hear throughout this Innovation Summit, you will see EcoStruxure Power, EcoStruxure Plant, EcoStruxure Grid. That's what it means. But we're not talking only about technology, right? If in the oil and gas world, the concerns and the value to deliver is not the same as in the water, wastewater, for example. It's not the same as in the utility or in a data center. We need to be as close as possible to the concerns of the customers. And in order to do this, and I will give you one example, which for me is the simplest in terms of explanation, I mean, not in terms of technology. If you think about it, what is a data center? A data center is simply a building in which you have people, so it's like an office building, for which you need to have power in order to supply the offices, to supply all the IT equipment, and in which you have a server room, a white room. So the combination of EcoStruxure will combine 3 domains of expertise together: EcoStruxure Power to ensure power quality, EcoStruxure Building for the management of the HVAC, heat, ventilation, air conditioning, and EcoStruxure IT for the most performing association for the IT equipment. So the solution that Schneider Electric will bring to the data center world, for example, will be, if you want, like an onion, superimposed 3 layers: power, building, and IT. That will be the delivery. And to do that, we have in our company overall about 15,000 application and software engineers. This didn't come overnight. This is a result of very, very hard work in the past 30 years to be able to build up inside all this gray matter and this expertise, which is now translated into software for your benefit. And Schneider is addressing, for example, 20 of the largest oil and gas companies in the world, 9 of the largest mines, food and bev, water, wastewater. The buildings, can you imagine 1 million buildings? Properly enormous. The utilities, of course, the data center and the machines. So that's what we do. We associate our technical domains to provide the best expertise depending on the sector. It's people, I've mentioned it, the community. And here, to the development, as I've mentioned before, we are developing and we continue developing this total ecosystem, or let's say the platform, with the best in class in terms of technology to ensure and guarantee maximum output to you, our dear customers, and for us to guarantee that the system is safe, cyber safe, and most efficient. So that's on deployment and development. Now in terms of go-to-market, we are in Indonesia here. We are not in Seattle, USA, at Microsoft HQ. The way we go to market will not change. The way we are going to accelerate this fantastic success story will be with you people. All our system integrators, all our panel builders, our consultants. We have created an open platform so that you can get on it and bring your own expertise and amplify it. So you will be able to use the technology bricks brought by Schneider Electric to combine those for the benefits of your customers. If you are an end user, you will be the happy recipient of all this technology, not for the sake of technology one more time, but for example, in a hospital, how to guarantee safety in the operating theater, how to guarantee continuity of supply during an operation, and how to minimize the bill of electricity every month. So that's what we do. So the how about you is you. It's us here. Huh? So we are working together. If those of you who are, let's say, around 50, you might remember this Come Together Right Now. It might ring a bell from a very famous music group. So that's what it is. This is happening today, and this is happening with all of you. Finally, the life cycle tools. This is a typical segmentation. Typically, in the history, we have always divided the CapEx and OpEx phases. CapEx is design, new investment. OpEx is I run the operation. Thanks to new technology, the frontier between those two worlds is totally blurred. We have now the capability to have a seamless transfer from the design phase all the way to the maintenance phase. Thanks to something that we call digital twins, which are basically the simulation, the design digitally of the total installation at design phase that will be able to be transferred to the people that will build the project, put it together, right? So electronic or digital transfer. Then to the operating floor, so the people in the factory, in the data center, in the building. And after some time, of course, there's maintenance needed, but it's not your old maintenance, the old way, right? The break and fix. I wait, I pray the Lord that the system is going to be functioning as long as possible, and one day it will fail, and then I will call the service guy. No. Thanks to digital tools, we can predict the failure. And we have many examples in the company of that situation. The one I have in mind is in a university hospital, where thanks to these technologies, we have been able to predict that a transformer install was about to blow up 2 months from today. The guys did the transformation, and it's completely seamless. No problem, right? So this is good value that we have. So integrated software approach, again, one more time, from design to maintenance through build and operation. That's the new Schneider, the one you've never seen before, the Schneider world of software. Meet the family. This is the family. The name of the family is Advisor. Advisor. Every single piece of software you will see in this room, with the exception of TripAdvisor, which is not ours, all the other advisors belong to the family. And you can look at those. I think there is one very good description. It's like a digital doctor for the installation. To me, it speaks. A digital doctor who is going to be able to do a diagnostic of the situation, propose some remedies, and then you, the patient, you choose whether you want to take the remedy or not, or you want to challenge the remedy which is proposed. So that's the family. They're all called advisors for many things. For the power advisor, for asset advisor, for workplace advisor, for the building environment, etc., etc. So we have a lot of those, and it keeps on increasing. So if you want, it's our repository of software for enhanced performance, enhanced value generation. This is, of course, giving some benefits. Luc has already alluded to this, giving higher energy efficiency. This is where we come from. Schneider comes from the energy efficiency world. And you understand, of course, that this is absolutely a key matter in this context of growing population, growing consumption, higher emissions of CO2 that we have to reverse. Efficiency is the thing. Productivity, that's more for the, let's say, the industrial world. Reliability and safety, nobody accepts anymore that anybody can be injured while doing his or her work. And finally, sustainability. It is the challenge of our generation is to be able to do more with less. This is not new, but we don't have a choice. And we don't have so many years, and Lucas mentioned earlier that globally the consensus is we have 20 years to do it. If you look at 80% of the buildings which are not energy efficient in Indonesia, imagine the potential market that we have in order to better equip all of these buildings. In 20 years, there is business for all of you here in the room for a large number of years, right? So the future is electric. The future is promising. The future is ours, thanks to digital, provided we can articulate it properly, and Schneider Electric is here for you. IoT is accessible. It sounds like a buzzword, but it's not. Like most, if all of you use Microsoft Office as a software, you probably only use less than 5% of the functionality on Microsoft Office. 95, you have no clue, but it exists. It's the same situation in our world. Most of the existing equipment today are connected or are connectable. The problem is we do nothing with this data. This is called dark data. It's available, but it's not used. EcoStruxure brings tools to be able to make sense of that data, which is here, but not used, to go from reactive to proactive, to go from on-site to mobile, to be able to control the application with your mobile, to be able to accumulate and gather the situation into one location, and also to use the existing development, which is fantastic in terms of artificial intelligence, and we are only at the beginning of that phase. Technology glitch. So I've done the theory of the case. What we will do now is we will go through a few examples. Sorry, there's a few. Okay, we'll go through a few examples that we have. Building is the first example. So this one is our very own Solo in Indonesia, which is a hospital that we equipped with an EcoStruxure platform. That was last year. So Andrew Santoso is somewhere here in the room. I don't know where you are, Andrew. Where? Andrew? Oh, okay, here. Thank you very much, Andrew, for being here. So he is one of the pioneers in Indonesia in the world of hospital. And basically, the challenge there was, of course, the power availability and the power quality to be able to operate a hospital in a safe and reliable manner. The result is not only reliability and safety for the patients, it's also savings on the energy bill. So that's the system that we have installed. So connected products, edge control, in order to deliver superior value. But rather than words, we're going to show you a small video.
Memberikan layanan kesehatan kelas dunia yang dapat diakses semua lapisan masyarakat menjadi prioritas utama di rumah sakit kami. Saya, Andrew Santoso, Chief Operation Officer Rumah Sakit Indriati. Rumah Sakit Indriati berlokasi di Solo Baru, Sukoharjo, yang mampu menampung hingga 500 pasien. Kami memiliki 11 ruang operasi, 2 ruang ICU, dilengkapi dengan fasilitas khusus untuk pasien kanker, jantung, syaraf, dan ortopedi. Berlokasi di area yang sedang berkembang, kadang kami mengalami kendala dengan stabilitas listrik. Tentunya bisa mengganggu pelayanan dan membahayakan pasien. Itulah kenapa kami memilih Schneider Electric dengan EcoStruxure Power, agar tim engineering dan tim medis bisa tenang dalam melaksanakan tugasnya. EcoStruxure Power terkoneksi dengan UPS dan trafo isolasi kami. Sistem monitoringnya memberikan informasi secara real-time mengenai kondisi listrik saat ini, sehingga kami bisa memantau dan memastikan semuanya berjalan dengan baik. EcoStruxure Building membantu kami dalam memberikan kenyamanan dan melakukan penghematan energi. Melalui aplikasi, kami bisa memantau sistem HVAC, pencahayaan, dan jaringan listrik, serta menganalisa penggunaan energi di seluruh rumah sakit. Kami memilih Schneider Electric sebagai partner karena didukung tenaga ahli yang handal dan solusi yang terintegrasi. Dengan keunggulan ini, kami bisa lebih fokus untuk meningkatkan produktivitas dan pelayanan yang terbaik untuk pasien.
So thank you very much for this. So continuing into the demonstration, I will be happy to welcome on stage my friend, where are you, for power? Not here. Isak? Where's Isak? Okay, come over, man. All right. He's shy. He's a little bit shy. But what you have here in front of you is our champion. So champions need to be humble sometimes. So he's our champion for EcoStruxure Power Indonesia. Yusak Yohanes.
Terima kasih, Xavier. Oke, baik. Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu. Saya cukup yakin bahwa setiap kita yang hadir pada pagi hari ini setuju dengan saya bahwa kita semua membutuhkan sistem kelistrikan yang aman dan handal. Entah itu untuk gedung, rumah sakit, misalnya tadi Indriati, terus kemudian untuk data center, untuk industri, untuk pabrik, dan yang lain, infrastruktur seperti seaport, airport, membutuhkan sistem kelistrikan yang dapat diandalkan. Namun, banyak sekali kendala, banyak sekali gangguan yang terjadi dalam sistem kelistrikan yang bisa mengancam kehandalan dari sistem kelistrikan itu. Dan yang paling menakutkan dari semua gangguan itu, apa itu adalah downtime atau listrik mati. Nah, dengan EcoStruxure Power Monitoring Expert, Bapak Ibu bisa melihat sistem kelistrikan secara real time. Jadi sistem EcoStruxure Power Monitoring Expert dapat memonitor secara real time, tidak hanya memonitor secara real time, tapi mengcapture semua data yang ada di sistem kelistrikan kita. Nah, banyak sekali gangguan yang ada di dalam sistem kelistrikan kita yang mengancam kehandalan sistem kelistrikan kita, dan 80% gangguan yang ada di sistem kelistrikan itu adalah gangguan yang kita tidak tahu. Nah, dengan EcoStruxure Power Monitoring Expert, Bapak Ibu akan bisa mendapatkan informasi secara real time sejauh jempol Bapak Ibu. Karena apa? Alarm dan kemudian notifikasi akan dikirimkan melalui handphone. Jadi semua kejadian disturbance ini akan Bapak terima secara real time. Alarm dan report ini akan ada notifikasi melalui handphone kita. Nah, dengan EcoStruxure Power Monitoring Expert ini ada juga yang namanya teknologi Disturbance Direction Detection. Jadi Bapak bisa tahu gangguan itu benar datangnya dari sistem kelistrikan Bapak atau gangguan terjadi dari sisi PLN. Nah, on top of dari EcoStruxure Power Monitoring Expert, kita juga punya Power Advisor. Ini adalah sistem yang memberitahukan kita summary. Jadi informasi yang ada di EcoStruxure Power Monitoring Expert itu akan dirangkum menjadi satu page saja untuk Bapak bisa melihat sistem kelistrikan kita beresiko atau tidak. Jadi ini adalah informasi yang bisa membantu kita untuk mengambil keputusan actionable information. Nah, ini adalah EcoStruxure Power dan rekan saya Pak Ferry Kurniawan akan memberikan informasi mengenai EcoStruxure Building untuk gedung yang lebih efisien dan efektif. Silakan Pak Ferry.
Oke, terima kasih Yusak. Betul sekali Bapak-Bapak dan Ibu, EcoStruxure Building Operation itu merupakan sebuah edge control dari senada elektrik yang sangat powerful. Sangat powerful dalam arti apa? Memberikan akses kepada building owner, facility manager, bahkan sampai ke okupan gedung untuk bisa memonitor dan manage gedung mereka dengan baik. Bagaimana caranya? Saya akan demonstrasikan sedikit bagaimana caranya sebuah gedung bisa kita operate dengan EcoStruxure Building Operation. Di sini dalam satu layar tampilan EcoStruxure Building Operation kita bisa melihat tampilan seluruh gedung dan dalam parameter tersebut kita bisa melihat beberapa area seperti lighting, AC, power dan sebagainya. Nggak cuma seperti itu, kita juga bisa masuk ke dalam floor space, lebih zoom in lagi untuk melihat kondisi yang ada di dalam lantai per lantai. Di sini kita disimulasikan di main office, dengan mudah kita bisa identifikasi bahwa ruangan tersebut panas karena warnanya merah. Oleh karena itu kita dengan seamless bisa berubah langsung ke sistem HVAC dalam satu sentuhan ke AHU. Dan kita memang melihat di sini ternyata panas tersebut diakibatkan karena AHU yang sedang bermasalah. Kita simulasikan ya, dalam artian di sini sudah diperbaiki, sudah dibalikan alarmnya, dan sudah dilakukan riset, meriset ulang AHU. Sehingga dalam artian setelah di riset, animasi daripada sirkulasi udara langsung muncul. Dan di situ bisa dengan mudah kita identifikasi bahwa di situ sudah kembali lagi normal. Setelah kita cek ke lantai tersebut, kita bisa cross check di mana lantai tersebut sudah nggak merah lagi. Di situ temperaturnya kita bisa lihat ternyata sudah berada dalam jangkauan set point. Jadi ini adalah yang kita sebut dengan seamless integration antara satu building control dengan yang lain, monitoring dan kontrol kita integrasikan. Tidak hanya HVAC, tapi juga kita bisa melakukan kontrol dan monitoring terhadap beberapa aspek gedung lainnya, seperti lighting, kita bisa melakukan scheduling, jam kerja, hari raya, hari libur nasional, jam berapa mau nyala, jam berapa mati, kita bisa atur semuanya dalam sistem kami. Selain lighting, ada juga access control, jadi security juga masuk ke dalam sistem EcoStructure Building Operation yang bisa kita lakukan monitoring dan kontrol dari sisi access control, membuka pintu, menutup pintu. Jadi monitoring dan kontrol mencakup beberapa fasilitas daripada gedung tersebut. Nah, kita juga bisa memonitor beberapa critical system yang lain, terutama fire, karena gedung sangat rentan terhadap kebakaran. Jadi fire system kita bisa lakukan monitoring yang mana terjadi kebakaran, sistem fire yang berdiri sendiri tentunya bisa terhubung dengan sistem EcoStructure Building Operation untuk memberikan sebuah alarm. Selain daripada itu, saya ingin menyambung dengan apa yang sudah Pak Yusak sampaikan. Tentunya selain daripada HVAC, lighting, fire, security, power management merupakan salah satu juga critical point yang kita harus manage. Dan EcoStructure Building Operation secara utuh dengan EcoStructure Power bisa dalam satu platform terhubung satu sama lain. Jadi user hanya menggunakan satu platform untuk bisa memonitor gedungnya dengan baik. Jadi sebagai penutup, melalui demonstrasi singkat ini, Bapak-bapak sekalian yang ada di sini tentunya sebagai building owner, sebagai facility manager dan juga sebagai end user bisa mengalami bagaimana memanfaatkan gedung itu dengan maksimal, dengan optimal, dengan efektif dan efisien. Demikian dari saya, terima kasih atas waktunya.
Thank you very much. Now moving on, this was a building and power example. Moving on to energy, PLN, of course, our dear PNL. We have also done a lot of work with the utility. The challenge here is really to be able to reduce the blackouts, provide higher efficiency, and provide a lot more intelligence in the management of the grid. We call this smart grid. We are working a lot with PLN to be able to deliver this. So this is a real challenge for our country due to the arrival of renewables, etc. Also, we have this project that we conduct with PLN is to equip Jakarta, or let's say Indonesia, with our latest UPS offer in provision of the Asian Games. So we will have the Asian Games coming in August, and Schneider Electric is a very big provider of equipment to make sure that the data is available at the right time, at the moment that you would love the most. All right? So we have connected about 1,200 substations and UPS in Jakarta Business District for that matter. And this is an idea of the system that we have put together, which is, let's say, a combination of traditional medium voltage switchgear equipment plus UPS connectable with some edge control activity. We will have a presentation later by a representative from PLN that will explain to us what is PLN doing to move towards the trend of digitization. That will come later. Data center, we've talked a lot of data. Data center is an absolute key element in this whole transformation, right? Data deluge, tsunami, if you want. In this, one example that we show, and we'll do a demonstration, here is a totally different environment. Maybe not the one you would be expecting to see from Schneider. Here we are in the movie industry. We are in Australia in the movie industry. The challenge here was for these people who are very much data hungry to be able to generate those very good animations that you see, you have seen in the past in films like Matrix or some Lego movies. All these beautiful animations that we all love are very big data guzzlers. For this, companies like Animal Logic needed to have in a very short period of time, a very customized system for them with a very short delay in delivery. And this is what Schneider has delivered in Australia with our EcoStruxure solution in order to have an average operation speed of 1.25 petaflops per second. So I will do a test afterwards. How many people know what a petaflop is? I will give you the answer later. So that's another application in the data center world. And in order to illustrate this with our own tools, I will call Julius to come on stage, who is going to do a demo in the EcoStruxure IT. Julius, the floor is yours.
Welcome, terima kasih. Selamat pagi, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Saya akan mendemonstrasikan cuplikan berkaitan dengan EcoStruxure IT on-premise version. Di sini kita bisa lihat data center yang ada. Ini adalah berbentuk visualisasi 3 dimensi. Yang kita bisa lihat ada visualisasi, ada unit AC dan perangkat IT yang ada di dalam data center. Dan ini merupakan satu data center operation. Dan juga kita bisa lihat visualisasi daripada sebaran panas daripada data center. Kalau kita bisa lihat visualisasikan di sini, ini adalah visualisasi sebaran panas di dalam data center. Kalau kita lihat mulai dari warna biru, hijau, kuning menuju ke merah, artinya sebarannya semakin panas. Nah, ini adalah satu kondisi data center yang boleh dikatakan setiap saat bisa berubah. Kenapa bisa berubah? Karena salah satunya adalah peak time processing di data center, maupun salah satunya adalah teknologi virtualisasi. Oke, di sini juga kita bisa melihat bagaimana pergerakan airflow daripada AC yang kita bisa visualisasikan seperti ini, sehingga kita bisa mengetahui seperti apa alur daripada udara AC yang mengalir di dalam data center. Oke, sekarang saya akan mendemonstrasikan bagaimana seandainya di dalam data center ini ada salah satu unit AC yang saya matikan. Apa yang terjadi di dalam data center? Saya ada salah satu unit AC, saya matikan menggunakan real data, saya mensimulasikan, dan kita bisa melihat apa yang terjadi di dalam data center. Terjadi pergerakan heat map di dalam data center, panasnya bergerak, menambah. Dan tidak stop sampai di situ, kita juga bisa melihat apa impact dari unit AC ini yang mati. Ya. Kita bisa lihat impact, kalau unit AC ini mati, maka perangkat-perangkat rak yang ada di dalam data center, maka temperaturnya akan bergerak dari sekian derajat Celcius ke sekian derajat Celcius. Oke. Ini sangat penting karena memang berkaitan dengan tata kelola di data center untuk menjaga critical power dan cooling di operation. Selanjutnya, saya akan meng-highlight mengenai capacity management, di mana kita bisa mensimulasikan, menganalisa perangkat data center atau equipment yang akan masuk ke dalam data center supaya optimal dan efisien. Oke. Supaya optimal dan efisien. Kenapa ini penting? Kalau kita lihat di dalam data center, mostly data center itu dikatakan penuh atau hampir penuh, sebenarnya masih ada room untuk diimprove dan dioptimalkan. Ini adalah salah satu way kita bisa melihat, bagaimana cara solusi kita memberikan satu advisor penempatan equipment yang optimal dan efisien di dalam data center. Sehingga tata kelola di dalam data center secara keseluruhan bisa optimal. Saya rasa mungkin ini ada gangguan. Saya mungkin akan kembalikan ke invite again Mr. Xavier Denoli. Thank you.
Terima kasih. We are experiencing live what we call in English Murphy's Law, right? I've seen this demo 3 times yesterday and it works. And of course, at the last moment it doesn't. But anyway, this is live. To continue in our journey, the last piece of, let's say, area that we have not covered yet is the industry piece. So this is the world of plants. Here we have one example. We don't have a demo, but that would be, for example, in a steel industry. This is in China with Bao Steel. So Bao Steel has been an early adopter of the Schneider Electric EcoStruxure plant activity. And here the result is mostly in terms of productivity. It's a lot more traditional compared to what we have done in the other sectors, but it's still a question, it's still a concern. So Bao Steel has been an early adopter, and we are looking forward, of course, with the Indonesia 4.0 to have a full house of Indonesia homemade examples to show. So that closes the area where we talk about the, let's say, the existing markets that have full access to energy. One of the things which is super important for us, at least, and also for the country, is access to energy. And Schneider has been working on these subjects for many years. And this is the world of renewable energy. This is the world of microgrid. This is the world of, from the simplest to the most complex solutions we can bring to those people who do not have access to energy at all, or not access to a reliable form of energy. I repeat, roughly 30 to 40 million people in the country are in this situation. If I put this at the European scale, it's not quite, but close to, is, for example, the population of Spain, something like that, right? I'm looking at Ferran, so that's why I think about Spain. So, where the sun meets connectivity, Indonesia is one of the best areas to embark these solutions, because it's an archipelago. 17,000 islands, a lot of sun available, and this is the way forward. And on top of it, and the best of it, it's sustainable and it doesn't deteriorate the environment further. So here's a small illustration through a film of what Schneider is doing in these areas.
Today, about 1.2 billion people in the world live without electricity. Another billion have unreliable power, and 2.8 billion people use coal, wood, charcoal, or animal waste for cooking and cleaning. Energy is critical for economic development and for powering basic social services like healthcare and education. Today, Schneider Electric is transforming the lives of millions of people in Nigeria by partnering with Microsoft and the Lagos State Electricity Board to provide sustainable solar power to over 200 schools and clinics. Schneider's Connext Insight uses Azure IoT Suite to connect intelligent devices to the cloud, enabling remote monitoring, diagnostics, and real-time tracking of energy usage patterns. With Cortana Intelligence, workers can spot repetitive trends or declining performance and initiate preventive maintenance to ensure a continuous power supply. Now computer labs operate all day, and students are able to charge devices and personal nightlights, extending learning opportunities after sundown. Clinics are able to properly refrigerate vaccines and medications, so medical care is available around the clock. Elsewhere in the world, solar farms help utilities incorporate renewable energy sources into the power grid. Connext Advisor offers the ongoing supervision required to ensure high performance by securely connecting equipment to the Microsoft cloud. Remote monitoring centers optimize performance by analyzing conditions like shade, weather, and dust on solar panels. With advanced analytics, plant owners can now manage power conversion efficiency, perform predictive maintenance, and extend the use of sustainable energy sources to meet increasing demands. With the Wiser Air Smart Thermostat, energy savings are extended to the residence, where homeowners can optimize comfort levels while stretching energy dollars. At-a-glance color halos indicate heating or cooling mode, and weather alerts offer up-to-date information so users are never caught off guard. Settings can be monitored and adjusted on the go, reducing energy usage by up to 13%. With the Internet of Things and cloud-connected energy solutions, clean, efficient, and reliable power is no longer a dream. Today, Microsoft and Schneider Electric are empowering life-changing solutions worldwide and enlightening the future for millions.
So now you'll be able to see for yourself. We're coming to the end of this keynote. In Schneider Electric, in Indonesia, in the past few months, we have installed approximately 50 EcoStruxure platforms across the country. We have, in the coming months, another 50. My personal ambition, or our ambition at Schneider Electric Indonesia, is 1 year from today, all the applications will be in a position to demonstrate to you, will all of them be homegrown. No more Bausteel China, for example. You will see a small video, which is a compendium of what Schneider Electric has done around the world. One more time, 1 year from today, 1.5-hour video of only Indonesian testimonies. That's the challenge for all of us. Thank you very much for listening.
Schneider's vision enables us to create exceptional guest experiences.
Everything electrical here at Moore Children's Hospital touches something of Schneider Electric.
We've dropped our utility bill about $200,000 to $300,000 over the last 5 to 6 years. It's all mostly credited to the system.
The Schneider Electric products give me that peace of mind to know that if there is an incident, kids can continue to learn and the classrooms can continue to operate until the school day is through.
Without Schneider Electric, we probably wouldn't have been able to progress as far as we have and as quickly as we have.
With Schneider Electric, we're shifting this idea of partnership to collaboration and really trying to achieve mutual goals.
Alors l'utilisation de la technologie Schneider Electric a changé radicalement ma vie. Et effectivement, ça me permet d'être là lorsque je ne suis pas là.
Le produit Schneider Electric remplit les conditions dont nous avons besoin et de permettre la transmission du savoir-faire de technicien à technicien sans devoir reformer.
Marriott and Schneider share the same vision, and I think that's why it becomes much easier for us to reach the same goal.
Với giải pháp của Schneider Electric đã tư vấn